Hello students, video lecture 106 based on history chapter 3 making of the global world. In this video lecture we'll discuss about the First World War, that is wartime transformations, meaning what changes had taken place during this period. Second article will be post-war recovery, that is after the war, how the losses, any kind of losses, economic loss, political loss, social loss, in what way it was recovered. And the third article will be the rise of mass production and consumption, that in what way the First World War gave rise of mass production, means producing things in large number, and in what way they were consumed. So these are the three articles, and this article is very important part of this chapter. So wartime transformation, meaning war has three phases of transformation, that is before the war, during the war, and after the war. And changes, what generally three changes take place in all these three phases. Three changes take place, that is first of all economic change, second is political change, third is social change. So we will discuss about these changes in context to the First World War. The First World War was fought between the Allied forces of Britain, led by Britain, France, Russia and America, later joined by America. These are Allied forces. This is asked for 1 mark. And the Central Powers, led by Germany, Austria-Hungary and Ottoman Turkey. These were the central forces. This is also asked for 1 mark question, MCQs, or in any other form. It was a war like no other before. The First World War was the war which was not fought in the past. In this war, for the first time, use of machine guns, tanks and aircrafts were seen. Means these modern weapons were used in this war for the first time, and it was the war between leading industrial nations. This was the war between the leading industrial nation, which brought a big economic changes in the, not in these countries but in the whole world. Second point regarding this is the war used products of modern large-scale industries. Industries were transformed to produce war-related goods. To fight war, millions of soldiers were recruited from around the world and moved to the front lines on large number in ships and trains. This was a social change, that people were recruited somewhere. Forced recruitment, conscription, that people were recruited into army without their choice. The scale of death in this war, in the battlefield or in civil areas, at both the places, it is not that people were killed in the battlefield only. Due to shelling, bullets, firing, people were killed in civil areas as well. So scale of death and destruction was over 9 million people dead and 20 million people were injured, and this was an unthinkable mistake before the industrial age. This was the biggest social loss, that so many people were killed. Next thing about this is, during war, industries were restructured, means changed, to produce war-related goods. Like textile industries were asked to produce tents for soldiers. Metal industries were asked to produce guns, bullets, shells, missiles, tanks, etc. And like this, all industries were changed from their conventional manufacturing to war-related manufacturing. Entire societies were also reorganized for war as men went to battlefield and women stepped into industrial work earlier, which was done by men. So it was the First World War which compelled the women's society to go to industries and work, because most of the men workforce was put into the battlefield. The war led to shaping of economic links between some of the world's largest economies, which were now fighting against each other. Britain borrowed large amount of money from US Bank as well as from public in the form of war loans. Thus, war transformed the US from being an international debtor to an international creditor. That whosoever country which was fighting, it is not the question of who was against, but every country who was involved in this battlefield of both the teams had taken war loans from America. So these were the transformations, changes which has taken. So we have discussed all the three aspects: political, economic and social changes. Then next article is post-war recovery. That after war, in what way these losses were recovered. This point can also be discussed in 3-4 points. The post-war recovery proved very difficult. Britain, which was the world's leading economy in the pre-war period, before the war, Britain was the leading economy in the world, in particular faced a long prolonged crisis in the economic field. After the war, Britain found it difficult to recapture its earlier position of economic dominance in the Indian markets and compete with Japan internationally. So it was the economic recovery was very difficult for Britain. War had ended to an economic boom. That economy started developing very fast. That is, to a large increase in demand, production and employment. Since industries were earlier transformed to produce war-related goods, now industries started producing their conventional goods. Cloth industries, textile industries, metal industries started producing their own products. When war boom ended, production contracted and unemployed increased. Industries produced things in mass number. At the same time, government increased war expenditures to bring them into line with peacetime revenues. Expenditures were reduced to large scale. These changes led to huge job losses. People were thrown out of jobs. In 1921, every fifth worker in Britain was jobless. So this was the difficult situation for post-war recovery. And next point, many agricultural economies were also in crisis, like America. Consider the case of wheat producers. Before the war, Eastern Europe was the main wheat suppliers in the world market. When the supply was disrupted after the end of the war, wheat production in Canada, America and Australia expanded dramatically. This is also important for 1 mark, that wheat for the world markets was produced in Canada, USA and Australia. But once the war was over, wheat prices fell more than 50% and farmers fell into a debt trap that they produced, since they had produced wheat by taking loan from America and other leading economic countries. Now their farm produce was not sold, so they get into a debt trap. Next article is the rise of mass production and consumption. How we have seen that things were produced in large quantity. A period of economic trouble in the years after the war. The US economy resumed its strong growth in early 1920s. Once important feature of the US economy of 1920 was the mass production. America's largest economy's basis was the mass production. A well-known pioneer of mass production was the car manufacturer Henry Ford, and he used the assembly line of a Chicago slaughterhouse to his new car plant in Detroit. Assembly line, the workers were called on a line and were asked to complete the given task, and it was done in a slaughterhouse where animals were slaughtered, dressed for meat. That was used for producing the Henry Ford's first mass-produced car, that is T model car. He used assembly line to manufacture cars. The assembly line forced workers to repeat a single task mechanically and continuously. As a result, Henry's car came off the assembly line at 3 minutes interval, meaning in 3 minutes at that time. This we are talking about 1920s. At that time, one car was produced in 3 minutes. Today, it is the Maruti model is one of the largest produced car and believed to be produced in 11 seconds. One car is produced in 11 seconds all over the world in all industries. As a result, Henry's car came off the assembly line at 3 minutes interval. This was the world's first fast produced car of that time. Important for 1 mark. Henry Ford, assembly line, T model cars. Mass production lowered the cost of engineered goods. When things were produced in large number, cost came down. This created a race of buying electronic goods like refrigerators, radios, washing machines and gramophones, and all these became luxury items of daily life. People started using them into their daily life. And finally, in 1923, US resumed exporting capital to rest of the world and became largest exporter and overseas lender. Lender means money, loans. By 1929, the world fell into a depression, that is economic depression, and such a situation had never experienced before. And this economic depression remained from 1929 to 1934. About this we'll discuss in next video lecture. Thank you very much. Keep on watching, keep on reading. That's a lot.